On this video, I'm going to break down exactly why there's a lot of people that think photography isn't a great way to make money, and what's true about that, and then what isn't true about that. Because obviously there are ways in photography to make a lot of money if you do things right and have a great business, and there are ways to completely go broke. And the reason the industry is known kind of for not being a good way to make money is because most photographers approach things from the perspective of not necessarily an artist, but more of like a photography enthusiast, which is fine. It's, amazing to like cameras. I like cameras as well, but if you take that like for cameras and you pair it with thoughtful business first decisions, you get the best of both worlds, right? You get to own a business doing something you like, which if you're watching this video is probably something with a camera, and you also get to make good money doing it. It doesn't have to be a sacrifice where because you get one, you lose the other. And so I put notes together on my thoughts generally as to why photographers don't do well, and then some of the things you can adjust to make sure that you do better as a photographer and you actually have a chance to build a great business. And so the first one I'll start with, you've probably heard me talk about this a little bit before, but most photo niches, like the niche you pick itself, really matters, and most niches are set up to not have you make a lot of money, right? So if you pick something like portraits, if you pick something like product, you can do okay with it. Weddings, you can do good, but it's a grind. Like, there's a lot of niches that just aren't really great. But the worst thing is a lot of photographers just straight up don't pick a niche, right? So their approach is like, I want to make as much money as I can with my camera, therefore I'm not going to limit myself. If someone wants me to shoot product photos, I'm there. If they want me to shoot food photos or family photos or senior portraits or weddings, like, they kind of just do a little bit of everything. And the problem with that is then they need a lot of equipment, right? Because the stuff you shoot real estate with, which is what I shoot, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, stuff you shoot real estate with gear-wise is a lot different than what you'd shoot a wedding with. That's a lot different than what you'd shoot, studio portraits with, for example. And so the one problem with picking, many problems, but the first problem with not picking a niche is you got to spend way more money on gear. And if you spend money on gear, that was money that didn't go in your pocket from shoots, so you're already down, right? The second problem is it's very unreasonable to expect yourself to be good enough at any one type of photography to be able to, or to be good enough at all types of photography to do any one of them well. What you're going to become is a very average photographer in a lot of different categories. And the problem with average is we have these. These do average to good work, for most people, if they're taking portraits or whatever, right? Sure, weddings and stuff they aren't, but like food, product, like there's competition with this if you're average. And even if there wasn't with this, being average is not how you make money, right? You make money by getting really good at one thing. And when I say really good, I don't mean you have to be like a world-class photographer. I just mean you have to know one group of clients really well. Like, for example, what people want when it comes to wedding photos is a lot different than what real estate agents want for real estate photos, and that's a lot different than food photography clients want for food photography. Like, it's just too much to learn well. And so if you're able to, step number one, pick a niche, that is going to give you a huge leg up in terms of making money in your business. Like, just picking a niche will make you more money. And I understand you're like, hey, if I pick a niche, I'm gonna have to say no to other jobs. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You say no to everything else, so you can focus on the one thing that's actually gonna make that business possible for you. And so number one is pick a niche. Number two is not all niches are created equal. I have a thing I call the 3 R's that you really wanna look at for a photo niche. So it's good if it has all 3. You want repeat business, meaning clients use you over and over again. You want referral growth, meaning when you work with a client, you do a good job, it's realistic for them to be able to refer you. They know other people who might be your clients. And third is required. And by required, I mean it's not easily done with this, right? Like weddings, for example, would be required, but not repeat. And so you want to have those 3 things if possible. If you get all 3, much better niche than if you don't. And so like you can go through the list, right? Weddings, okay. Repeat business, absolutely not. But one wedding and done. Referral, medium potential. Required, yes. So it doesn't have all 3. It has 2 out of 3. You go to food photography. It's repeat business. Yeah, maybe they update the menu or whatever. It's required 50-50, but I'll give it that. But it's not really referral based. Like, sure, they'll know other restaurant owners, but you're not going to get 200 clients because you got with one restaurant business or food product company or whatever. Generally, right? And so if you can find one that has all 3, I got super lucky. I picked real estate photography. It has repeat business. The agents, every time they have a listing, call me. So once I get a client, I get to shoot every time they have a listing, and listings are how they make their money, so they like try to get listings, right? So it's repeat business. It's referral because agents, they basically only know other agents. Like, it's almost a joke that if you're a real estate agent, like your whole entire community is just other real estate agents. So they're on other sides of the deal from real estate agents. They're in the office with so the referral potential is like through the roof. And last one, required. It's not 100% required, but the way listings and the way real estate is sold has completely changed. Like most of it's done online now. And so because it's done online, agents really understand the value of hiring you or some other photographer to shoot professional media for them, photos, videos, 3D tours, that kind of stuff. And so that's the second thing. Real estate is different as a niche. Every listing needs media, or most do. Agents on average are listing, 1 or 2 times a quarter for a busy one. So you're getting 6 shoots a year, 6 to 8 shoots a year. It really depends, right? You have some agents that are going to do 2 listings a year, and others that are going to do literally 100 sometimes for a bigger team. Okay, the next thing, number 3, and this is something that's good about real estate media, but you can sort of apply this to any niche. Again, my goal in this video is just to talk about how to make money as a photographer without being like a world-class photographer, even someone that just likes cameras. And so I think real estate photography is the way to do that. I'm obviously biased. That's how I've done that. That's what this channel is about. But a lot of why I've been able to do it is because of the decisions that I lucked into. Like I didn't sit back and engineer that I was going to do this. So you're already ahead of me in that sense. Like you're watching this video and you get the chance to engineer that for yourself. Okay, so here's some cool things about real estate is it's systematizable as well. So that means it's easy to hire someone if you want to grow your business because, and I'll just give you the list, the shooting process is really simple. It's not necessarily that emotional of a process for the client, right? It's just one of their listings. Sometimes the homeowners get emotional and they want retouches and stuff like that, but it's a super systematizable process. You need really cheap gear to make it happen, and it's really easy to learn because you're just doing the same thing over and over. Like shooting real estate is really, really simple. So from an actually doing the thing perspective, at my business, for example, when we hire a new photographer, we train them from 0 to 100% ready to shoot for us in like 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of times closer to 2. And that's learning photos, videos, 3D tours, floor plans, drone, like all the services we offer. And so if it can be done in a couple weeks, that shows you don't have to have years of experience as a photographer. In fact, when we hire people that are servers, bartenders, like people used to working for tips. And so that's really nice for you when you're first starting. It's not like you're gonna have to become some like legendary photographer to make that happen, right? So it's easy to do from that standpoint. The next thing is the market. There's a market for real estate photos almost anywhere. And the test you can do for yourself is just go to Zillow and look up homes for sale and see if there's professional photos or not. Most of the time, there's going to be a ton of professional photos. Don't let it scare you either way. You'll see some, you'll see more or less depending on the market. But like, if there's no professional photos, all you have to do is convince a couple agents to take professional photos, and that's pretty easy to do. And then all of them will start using you because they'll want to follow the other agents. Or if you're in a market where there's already a ton of professionals, you don't have to convince anybody. They already know how to do it. You just have to win them from other photo business owners, which is also unfortunately easy because most people that are photo business owners, there's ego that comes with that. There's a lot of photographers that are kind of tough to deal with, and so all you have to do is provide generally good customer service, and you have a good shot of getting clients there. If you go to the lives here on my YouTube channel, you'll see a case study with Justin Cyrus, awesome guy, built a 0 to 10K a month photo business, like super fast. And he built it, he's great, this is nothing against him, but like he built it almost exclusively on just friendliness and his personality. And he learned other stuff too, but like that just shows how low the bar is, where a lot of real estate photographers don't do things right. And so, yeah, I mean, markets, we kind of went through that it's easy to shoot. We went through that, you can look it up in your market, but almost any market, at least here in the United States, Canada, some European countries, etc. There's a lot of market for it. The last thing usually when I talk about this kind of stuff with people is they're like, well, that's great. Like, I get that it's going to work in my market. I get that it's pretty easy to learn. I get that I need cheap equipment, but like, how the heck do I actually get a client? This is one of my favorite parts about real estate media. I recommend an approach called the Instagram method, where you basically just use Instagram, create a brand new account, spend some time on the profile, set it up. I have other videos on that specifically, but you set up that Instagram account and you literally just go in here, you find real estate agents on Instagram and offer them a free first shoot. And it's so funny because when I say that, like if you've been in the photography industry, you'll know that you'll hear people say like giving away free work devalues you and all this other stuff that like I understand where they're coming from, because if you're shooting weddings and you give away free work, you're not getting a second wedding from that couple. So it's kind of like a waste. It's like just for your portfolio, which doesn't really do anything. You don't really need a portfolio. You need like one house, at least in real estate. But the reason it works really well in real estate is because they're repeat clients. So I think of every client like a faucet that's filling the bucket, right? And I add a client and it starts a little drip into the bucket. I add another client, more drip. And before you know it, you have 100 clients. That bucket fills up fast, right? But giving away that first drip to get a stream of drips makes sense, right? So if you do a good job for a real estate agent, they're going to use you for every shoot they have in the future. So you're giving away a couple $100 worth of free service in exchange for the chance to earn them as a long-term client. In fact, my first client still books with us, and it's been over 10 years since I started. So giving away, I didn't do this. I got my first client a different way, by pure luck, because I wasn't trying to be a real estate media company. But either way, that first client, if I would have given away that first shoot in exchange for hundreds of shoots down the line, that's an objectively a good trade. So don't listen to all the photographers that say it devalues you. It's really a silly concept, because if you look at some of the biggest companies in the world, they offer free product. Costco offers the free samples everywhere, right? Like any subscription service will give you a free trial, because if you believe your product is good and your experience you provide is good, then there's no better marketing than that experience or product itself, right? Like those same people that say free devalues you and they would never give a free shoot, they spend $500 to put their face in a magazine that does nothing for them. I'm like, I'd rather pay myself to advertise myself by offering free products. So those are my thoughts overall. I think photography as an industry is really undervalued. I think a lot of people are scared because phones have gotten good, but also we spend more times on our phone than ever. So media has become super, super important if you're thoughtful about what type of media you're doing, what clients you're going to serve, et cetera, et cetera. The things I talked about in this video, I think it is a great time to be a photographer. In fact, my business and the industry of real estate media has gotten better every year since I've been in it. When we first started, it was pretty much just photos, and people were worried about cell phones taking over. And then we fast forwarded today, and it's photos, videos, 3D tours, all these services we get to sell that makes us make more money for every shoot we get. So it's an average order value is the metric that we talk about a lot in this industry, how much we get paid on average per shoot. That's just steadily climbed all the years that I've been in this business. So I'm super bullish about the industry. I think it's a great industry if you're thoughtful about it. And so I'm not saying you have to do real estate photography to be successful, but I am saying it is worth some thought about, number one, picking a niche, not being a generalist. If you're a generalist, it's really hard to make money. And number two, putting some thought into what you want that niche to be from a business perspective and an enjoyment perspective. I like real estate to see cool houses, drive around, consistent work, that kind of stuff, but you have to pick what's right for you. If you want to learn more about real estate photography and have us help you launch your business, we have a coaching program called Launch. Click the link below. It's replaunch.com/apply, and you'll be able to talk with my team about what coaching would look like. We have an awesome program. So if you're wanting to start as a real estate photographer, step by step helps you through the process. So check that out. I'll see you in the next video.